Rachel, a question I have, and you referenced Grove, and I believe you're talking about St. Louis Park. I think that's where Grove Academy or the Grove Elementary School is located.
Minnetonka,
Okay.
St. Louis Park physical location, yes.
Okay.
Yep.
And particularly, I think what you said, but please correct me if I misheard, that they're supposed to be pretty good at dealing with kids who have this issue, dyslexia, and teaching them and coping with them and developing those skills. But you're reluctant to bring somebody from there because there's not an objective body out there which is saying this really works. Did I hear you correctly, or?
I didn't say I was reluctant. I said we did not invite anybody outside of the MDE dyslexia specialist. And if that's a route that is a direction we want to go, then I would suggest that if that's where this lies, we know what we're going to hear. Structured literacy core curriculum. We can tell you that. I mean, it's not going to be anything different than that. So we already can tell you here that they will absolutely say they do not support units of study, just as what we've heard from parents. So the decision you have before you tonight is whether or not the District Literacy Committee is a body that will be recommending the curriculum choice for this district and our kids versus somebody who supports structured literacy for every level of the program, because one of the pieces of structured literacy is that it is very similar. What we're saying in our approach is that a similar one-size-fits-all approach is not the approach to take. We want the balanced literacy approach so we can address the needs of all learners. But because we also don't have parents here that represent EL students, we don't have GT parents here, and we don't have parents of students that fit within the normalized range of education. So those voices are also not absent, or are absent here.
Although you and I both know, I've worked with vendors and curriculum adoptions, that sort of thing. Vendors also have a vested interest, and sometimes you need a third party in the room to balance it. No pun intended. But here's the part I look at, is that the request, which we heard parents echo tonight, which I've heard in a lot of emails and a lot of calls, is they're saying, okay, let that person come in. And again, I agree with you, MDE is not going to give you a recommendation. The Department of Ed, that's not their business, and they try to go out of their way not to. What they can do is answer questions that come up and attempt to give that objectivity.
And we had a very valuable discussion. I've probably spent, 2.5, 3 hours talking with the specialist at MDE specifically about what we're doing, how we can tweak it, what's appropriate, what's not appropriate.
And your presentation tonight was powerful, effective. What I'm saying is I think the request to have someone come in who you will have an opportunity to disagree with or whatever, and then the ultimate decision, as you said, lies up here.